Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Brand Equity Marketing Awards 2020. My name is Cyrus Saukar and I am delighted to be your host for this evening where we honor excellence in marketing. Picking winners worthy of this title from over 1,300 entries in the middle of a pandemic surely wasn't easy. In all, there were 70 marketing and advertising leaders who meticulously evaluated hundreds of case studies from brands across sectors to arrive at a shortlist of finalists across 8 categories. Now, a final jury of business leaders waiting desperately for your own categories. And of course, let's not forget the rolling of the eyes as I try to bring a little levity to the evening. But all that aside, it's really great to know that all of you are present and excited for today's ceremony and that only most of you have put me on mute. For those people, I shall be doing large actions to show you the show still goes on. I would also now like to take this opportunity to thank our wonderful partners, Zee Entertainment and Instagram. And now to get things rolling, it is my pleasure to welcome Connie Brahms, Chief Digital and Marketing Officer, Unilever, to deliver the keynote address. Over to you, Connie.
Hello, everyone. My name is Connie Brahms. I'm Unilever's Chief Digital and Marketing Officer, and I'm honored to be able to join you today virtually to celebrate this year's awards. It goes without saying that 2020 has been a challenging year. COVID has brought a rapid change in consumer behavior, from shopping habits, media consumption to new trends, all of which have had a profound impact on marketeers, from our channel strategies, our creative work and much more. Which is why it has never been more important to take a moment to really celebrate brilliant work, something I'm very much looking forward to be doing today. Now, along with change, the events of this year have brought into sharp focus the gaining relevance of brand purpose. Not only the need for brands to have a clear and authentic purpose, but to act with intent on that promise. At Unilever, we're very demanding of our brands with purpose. What they communicate must highlight an environmental or societal issue, but more importantly, they must also take meaningful, long-term action with measurable results. This helps us to avoid empty statements that are not actually solving a real-world problem. Because today it is people that are driving culture, taking to the streets or social media to praise good behavior and punish the bad. Brands are responsible for not just reflecting culture, but shaping it. And we cannot ignore the seismic shifts in people's identities and values, or the heightened awareness of issues and stereotypes. People expect brands to step up and to fill the void left by other institutions. Recent findings from Edelman's Trust Barometer state that 85% of respondents want brands to solve my problems, whilst 80% want brands to solve society's problems. And that is exactly why earlier this year, our home care division announced its new global strategy called Clean Future. Billions of people around the world are asking for products that are tough on germs and on stains, but also kinder to the planet. And the science and technology now exist to make this possible. And we will transform our brands to become lower carbon and lower waste with the same or better performance. We will use renewable or recycled carbon sources above the ground to end our dependence on non-replaceable fossil fuels from under the ground. And combined with advantages in low carbon chemistry, we will play our part in the fight against climate change and help to preserve, restore and regenerate the Earth's natural resources. Now a bit closer to home, in India. HUL's long-standing project Shakti, which aims to provide livelihoods and enhancing opportunities to female micro-entrepreneurs in rural India, has now taken over 1 lakh micro-entrepreneurs across 18 states, giving Shakti entrepreneurs training for familiarizing themselves with HUL products and basic tenets of distribution management. And there are many more brilliant examples, like Suvida Community Hygiene Centers, an urban water hygiene and sanitation center in the slums of Mumbai, or the work that we do with smallholder farmers as part of our sustainable sourcing agenda. And Prabat, the community development initiative that aims to build sustainable and inclusive communities around HUL's manufacturing locations across India. We long believed that by standing for something bigger than the products we sell, by tapping into our audience's beliefs, and by taking decisive action to help solve society's ills, we can connect with people at a deeper level. It's a tradition which goes back to our founder, William Lever, who launched one of the world's first purpose-led brands, Sunlight Soap, more than 100 years ago, to make cleanliness commonplace in Victorian England. Today we're proud of the best examples that are from India. I hope many of you have seen the beautiful campaigns of our brands, such as Surf Excel, who through its Dirt is Good campaign believes that dirt and experiences are gateways to unleash human potential and encourage children to play outdoors, while Surf Excel takes care of dirt and tough stains. Or take Brook Bond Red Label, who encourages us to come together and bridge our differences over a cup of tea. It stands for making the world a more welcoming place by breaking down the barriers of caste, greed, religion, and social stereotypes. I believe that this messaging of togetherness assumes even greater significance in today's times. And we know that by positioning our brands on doing real good in the world, a byproduct will be better financial performance. Today we see that brands that we call Unilever Sustainable Living brands, brands such as Dove, Domestos or Lifebuoy, consistently outperform the average growth of the rest of the portfolio. But don't take my word for it. An extensive analysis of thousands of brands globally done by Kantar in their Brand C study has shown there is a very strong correlation between purpose and brand power, with brand power being a measure of a brand saliency, meaningfulness and differentiation. And brands with a higher brand power have 5 times higher market shares than those that do not, and shifts in brand power predict future turnover growth. If I leave you with one message today, it is that brands with purpose grow by taking meaningful action on the issues that people truly care about and building movements for positive change. Authentic and relevant brand actions inspire the best creative work that really resonates with people. And it is these progressive brands that can change the world. Thank you for having me. Good luck to all the entries today and congratulations to all the winners.
Thank you so much, Connie. And now it's time that we get around to what you all have actually come here for, the bar. Sorry, old habits die hard. What I meant was the awards. Before we get started though, a quick reminder, guys, please do not forget to use hashtag BEMA, B-E-M-A, especially when sharing pictures or quotes on social media, provided they are all complimentary. In case they are not, feel free to use any other hashtag. But with that, let's start with our first category of the evening. Our nominees in this category have dared to take their message to a magical place that exists outside your phone and your apartment, the real world. A bold and innovative space where brands have made their stories tangible, memorable things that have delighted consumers. So now, let's take a look at the nominees for Brand Experience and Activation of the Year.
In the category Brand Experience and Activation, the nominees are Castrol for Super Mechanic, Fortis Healthcare for Honor the Donor, Lux for the Soap with a Lump, Lifebuoy for Stamp of Hygiene, and Iodex, Thodi Himmat, Thoda Iodex. Joining us to announce the winner, please welcome Ram Raghavan, Managing Director, Colgate-Palmolive India.
Hi everyone. The Brand Equity Marketing Awards was yet again a closely contested affair this year. it remains a testament to the quality of work and talent we have in our country. It also led to some fun and intense deliberations as a jury. My congratulations to all the finalists, and a special call out to the brand equity team for their continued recognition of marketing brilliance in our country. And the winner in the brand experience and activation category is Lux for their Soap with a Lump campaign. Kudos to the team for raising awareness for such an essential subject, and the brilliance with which the idea was integrated across all touchpoints, including the product itself. Congratulations and well done.
Thank you so much to the brand equity team and to the jury for conferring Lux with this award. This one is really special. The idea stemmed from the simple idea that we could actually get women to remember self-examination through the soap with a lump. I think a very powerful idea, and we are very proud of it. Thank you so much once again to the jury. It's our privilege to accept this award.
Congratulations to the team at Lux, a truly brilliant idea for such a great cause. And now let's carry on with tonight's show and move on to our next category. Now, people love evolution, making a tiny or big effort to bring positive change in people's lives. That's their true calling, not mine. Personally, I haven't evolved at all. I haven't changed my parents, I haven't changed my toaster, my detergent, or my workout schedule for way longer than I care to admit. Thankfully though, our next category is all about that former group of people. Coming up next is Innovation of the Year, a category that focuses on an innovation that increased a brand's consumer appeal and performance in the market. It's super exciting stuff. Let's take a look at the nominees.
In the category Innovation of the Year, the nominees are Facebook for Thumb Stoppers, Godrej Protect for Mr. Magic Hand Wash, Paytm for Paytm Gold, Samsung for Good Vibes app, and Voltas for Adjustable Inverter Air Conditioner. Joining us to announce the winner, please welcome Ahmed Elsheikh, President PepsiCo India.
It was great to be part of the esteemed panel of the jury of the ET Brand Equity Awards. I had a great time going through the amazing work done by various brands. The quality of the entries was brilliant. It is also heartening to see that innovation and purpose-driven work is being produced in abundance by brands today. Congratulations to all winners. I am delighted to announce the winner in the innovation category and the brand equity award goes to Samsung India for Samsung Good Vibes. Congratulations.
Namaste. Good Vibes is a testimony to what all of us at Samsung believe in, that innovations should transform people's lives. With Good Vibes, we have touched many lives. At Samsung, this is the kind of stuff that motivates us. It is our way of giving back to the community. We are very happy that you liked the campaign and gave us this award. Thank you, ET Brand Equity and the members of the jury. This recognition will inspire all of us at Samsung and hopefully many others to create innovations that make lives of people better. Dhanyawad.
Congratulations Team Samsung for starting a whole new conversation. And now next up, we have a category that's very close to my heart. A group of brilliant people, thanks to whom I am now the proud owner of 4 stationery sets with 1 free sharpener, 5 subscriptions to magazines that I haven't read yet, but how I like looking at those covers, and a Fitbit that thinks I'm already dead because I've spent all my time shopping on my laptop. Let's hear it for the nominees in the category of Digital Marketing Campaign of the Year.
In the category Digital Marketing Campaign, The nominees are Cadbury Dairy Milk for drowning hate with hearts, Durex for hashtag Come Together, Facebook for Thumb Stoppers, Hair and Care for Kule Bal Befikar, and Spotify for Memevertising. And to announce the winner, please welcome back Ahmed El Sheikh.
The award for the best digital marketing campaign goes to Cadbury Dairy Milk for Drowning Hate with Heart. A fantastic campaign, I must say. Congratulations.
Wow, thank you for the award. Super excited. Amazing to receive this on behalf of the entire ecosystem that's worked very hard to bring this idea to life. The brand team, the insights team, the media team at Mondelez working very closely with our friends in Facebook, Wavemaker, Ogilvy to bring this idea to life. What a great pivot. Just reinforces our belief in digital marketing. Also reinforces the belief that we can definitely make a difference in our consumers' life beyond just sell more of our product. Thank you.
Congratulations, Team Cadbury, a Purple Heart from us to you. In fact, congratulations to all our winners in the first 3 categories. Thank you so much for helping moms and dads around the country take a creative career seriously. We now move to a very interesting segment, one where leading marketers and business leaders unravel how brands are being built to last and succeed in a unique and diverse nation such as ours. The topic for today's panel discussion is Building to Last, the making of leading brands of today and tomorrow. I'd like to welcome our panelists, Devendra Chawla, Chief Executive Officer, Spencer's Retail and Nature's Basket. Pratyusha Agarwal, Chief Consumer Officer, Domestic Broadcast Business, Zee Entertainment. Deepika Warrier, Chief Marketing Officer, Diageo. Abhishek Maheshwari, President, International Business, Byju's. And Gayatri Yadav, Chief Marketing Officer, Sequoia Capital. Now, to kick off this discussion, here's a short video that illustrates the power of culturally vibrant brands in winning consumer hearts. Presenting the newest offering from the House of Zee, a new Marathi music channel, Zee Vajwa.
Ram Ram Maharashtra.
Bring it on, baby.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Economic Times Brand Equity Marketing Awards 2020. These are not just any awards. As a marketing practitioner, I've always looked forward to the ET Brand Equity Awards because I believe that these are awards that go beyond the purely transactional or promotional category, but it really recognizes the role of marketing as a strategic brand custodian, and not just a strategic brand custodian, which is very critical, but also a fundamental growth driver for the business. So it's super exciting to be here and super exciting to be here with this amazing panel to discuss a question that all of us face right from the beginning of our careers to today, and will face till the day, we retire from marketing. It is a question that persists, and it's really the holy grail of all questions, which is, it's hard enough to build a successful brand, but how do you really build a legendary brand, one that endures over time? And really my question for all of us today is, what does it take to succeed? Do you think one model works from India One to Bharat? Do you think you need a multiplicity of models? And how do we really build legendary brands out of India?
I think over a passage of time, if you see, while the models have evolved, I think currently the divide in aspirations in consumer behavior has been narrowing over the years between what we call India One and Bharat. And I think digital is leading to reducing of this gap with every passing day. I mean, to my mind, consumers in small towns and villages want the same brands that urban consumers want, more so with every passing day, but at much more affordable prices. And I think building brands, whether India, Bharat, worldwide, anywhere, I think the basic tenets would remain the same. And I would call just to open up the conversation and not take too much time. I think the 3S, which I believe in, I think you need to have a unique and differentiated story, first of all. And you need to have robust consumer focused strategy. I think keep the consumer at the center. Things will change, platforms will come, channels will change, delivery forms will change. But I think keeping the customer at the center will always be a time-tested thing for legendary brands. Then seamless systems, I think focused on impeccable execution. I think sometimes we associate execution more with operation, but I think building brands need as much solid execution than anything. And last 2 decades, I think I've seen more billion-dollar brands being built, more than the last 5 decades put together. And like you said, most industries, whether FMCG, oil and gas, automobile, banking, I think it's getting disrupted with new brands. And leveraging technology, I think that becomes the core of building brands now in a social world. And I would still say that a unique CVP, what we used to grow up with, customer value proposition and differentiated communication. And more so, I think for the generation which coming up now, and the more I talk to my children and their friends, I think I used to feel that this is a word which has less meaning, but I'm realizing it has actually a lot more meaning, called brands with a purpose. I think so. I'll just start with that and let others come in and then take it on from there.
So I'm going to just maybe move the baton to Abhishek.
Yeah.
I think what Devendra said is that there is really no divide, and digital can play the role of a unifier or a bridge. And the fundamentals of building for India One or Bharat remain the same. You've sort of seen both the media world with Disney and now the edtech world with Byju's. What is your take on this? Do you think the same proposition and CVP can work across both markets? And what does it take to build legendary?
Yeah, no, I think I concur with some of what Devendra said. Now, going to the point that does the same value proposition work across India? I sort of qualify that there are segments where it does and there are segments where it doesn't. We in my current disposition in education, we are actually fortunate that the demand and the aspiration is very broad-based. I think particularly in India. Right, whether it's whether it's a South Mumbai or a South Delhi parent or someone in Jabalpur, I think everyone wants the same for their children. Education is the big leveler. It is something that Indians believe in aspirationally. So we have an opportunity to build a pan-India brand, and we kind of leverage that. We are beginning to leverage that, I should say. I think the tenets of brand building remain the same, right? It has to start with the right product that fits a customer need. That certainly doesn't change whether you are creating for India, Bharat, global, whatever it is, right? In our case, we see that our offerings are relevant across the segment. In fact, almost 2/3 of our business comes outside of the top 8-10 cities. So that's quite significant. What we've tried to do is the whole, it's the right product and then the right communication, so that everyone sort of gets the sense of what it is, what's in it for them, what is the value that they're going to derive. For example, our offering is available in all the regional languages, right? We've also made a lot of effort to communicate that, right? So if you've seen, I'm sure everyone's been exposed to Byju's ads, you can't not miss it in the last couple of years. So you see Shah Rukh Khan, speaking in Bengali, in Gujarati. We've had regional brand ambassador like Mohan Lal for Malayalam, Mahesh Babu. Again, just to build that consumer trust, to give them the sense that there is something in it for them. But at the core, our product is not very different, right? It's communicated in different languages. And so that allows, and I think it's the same thinking that we are taking to building a global brand. That create products, right products for the right market with a core that we can replicate across all of these things.
And it's interesting, we're seeing a blurring of boundaries, right? Education is becoming more entertaining. Entertainment is at some level becoming more educational in some categories. Moving on, we're talking about entertainment to Pratyusha. What's your view on how do you serve a market that's a market of multitudes like India?
As a marketer, I've always felt this, and I'll take 3 different time periods of my life. And when I was a brand manager on Sunsilk, I said, why do health shampoos or health benefit shampoos work so much better in the South versus the beauty brands and the big bottles work so much in Punjab? Versus when I moved to a category like insurance, and the risk averseness and the need with which it's done in a market versus the willingness to bet big on money from a Punjab, there's again a difference. And I think fundamentally our stopping of thinking of India as a India A, India B, SEC-A, SEC-B versus the multiverse and the multi-Bharats and the many Bharats that it really is a fundamental shift that I think we need to do as marketers. And Kathy brought it out as how the moment you think of it as not just language, but as culture, and how different cultures react to categories. And there is, like you said, India has a huge amount of history, and different parts of India have grown differently. So these mini Bharats react to categories very differently. And ours, I think making annual plans is just bunkum. You actually need to make plans for each of these Bharats, and that's when we unlock the power and win. And I think that's really the reason why some categories are doing very, very well unlocking that potential of Bharat. I think in the question on it, it just really ranked saying, why does India not have brands at a global scale? And when I think of it, if you're a homegrown marketer in India, you have had the opportunity to look at multiple countries and grow categories. And I think really focusing on and having that fearlessness to say, okay, I'm not just doing one product for a market, but I'm really going to go back to what Devendra said there on building a business with a purpose. And I think somewhere if our brands and our organizations focused a lot more on a common universal purpose, and if you have that emotion that cuts through, we've seen it in storytelling, the same story goes across countries, and you've seen it in products. If you're rooted in a purpose, that then goes across countries. And I think we're possibly best placed to create those. I think we just need to drop a little bit of that micro business orientation to a little bit of larger, what am I creating for the next 100 years out of India purpose? I think that would really, really change the scale.
Interesting. So long-term orientation and really not using geography as a segmentation variable, but culture, yes, and looking at microcultures. It's a fascinating perspective. Deepika, you'll have the last word on this topic.
Thanks, Kathy. So let me pull back and build on what I think the other panelists have said, and let me focus on part B of the question that you asked, which is how do you build iconic, legendary, timeless brands, which stay the course, whether in India, for India, outside. Let me tap into my experience, which is either building global brands from zero to scale in India, or building brands which were created for India. So I agree with all the other panelists. I think a couple of things, and I think DC touched upon it. I mean, this has always been the case. Aspiration and trickles down to Bharat from India, And similarly, I think the common thread which cuts across India and Bharat is the need for value. So value consciousness cuts across. As also, the deep-seated bonds of family, the cultural zeitgeist pretty much is the same. So, at least in my experience, I think in 25 plus years of building brands, it's almost like a wedding cake approach, right? So the bottom of it in India, and I think it cuts across everything, whether it's Byju's, whether it's Z content, whether it's, these retail experience. At the bottom of the cake is access, affordability, and relevance, right? And, relevance, then maybe not just relevance, but maybe affinity is becoming more and more important. So that's the bottom. On top of that, I think superior functionality and differentiation, and that's table stakes. So if you're a chip, then you better be the goddamn best tasting chip. In Alcobebs, you better be, winning the taste test in your price segment. So I think, and I'm talking about food and beverage, where obviously taste and convenience are the key functionality, but, it could be the best piece of content, it could be the best, educational outcomes, or whatever it is. So I think functionality is table stakes. On top of that, I think if this is India, then emotionality becomes very, very important. And, I guess the classic way, Gayatri, you and I have built brands is, that whole ladder where you ladder up from attributes to functionality to emotional benefits. And I think what's super critical is that emotional benefit is timeless and, it underpins the positioning of the brand. But then you need to keep contextualizing it to the cultural zeitgeist of the country at that point of time. And it needs to change, right? Pepsi, which was liberalization's child in the early 90s, is today, it can't be talking to, opening up of the economy or, aspiration. The story has to be very different. And, that needs to be expressed in storytelling. So if you ask me, that's the thing. And then, of course, how do you vivify this? How do you make this come alive? And there's, of course, those platforms which unify India. And nobody knows it better than you and Pratyusha. Whether it's cricket, whether it's Bollywood, timeless, though Bollywood, of course, is also now going through a change in terms of, the focus on, maybe the equalization of the opportunity. But some of these are timeless. The importance of family, different life stages in the life of a consumer, and you can actually festive occasions. So these become platforms that you absolutely need to latch on your brand to, because that's when the consumer is most receptive to receiving messages from the brand. The other thing that's maybe the cherries on the top of the cake that have always worked for me is looking out for the early adopters, for your brand. And I'm sure you're doing this, Abhishek, and those guys then become your evangelists, even more so now today in a day of, referrals and, when word of mouth counts so much more than anything that we do in mass media. So, finding your early adopters and making them evangelists for your brands or advocates, as we call it today, is the cherry on the top. And the last I would say is, what you said, Gayatri, about geographic expansion. And that's something I think we've all done well, right? We used to say this in Pepsi, Pehle Jhanda Gado, find a place, a part of India, a zone in India, prove your concept, really become very strong there, make your mistakes there, and then slowly spread across this geography, this vast geography of India where, each state is equal to a country, as Pratyusha said, where the tiers are so different, and where basically the proposition remains the same, but you do need to tweak it either to the the income disposition, disposable income of the consumer, or those cultural nuances. So for me, it's almost like a wedding cake, and that's kind of the timeless truth of brand building.
Fascinating. So there's a lot of unanimity in the panel that there's a unity of aspiration across India, that maybe it's a matter of exposure and timing, but fundamentally what works in India, one should ultimately percolate and work in Bharat as well. And perhaps the expression and platforms may change, but the fundamental benefit drivers remain the same. And it's heartening to hear that, the classical principles don't change, though the expression of it may. Moving on to the second, which is building the second question in my head as I think about this, is how do we really build legendary global brands out of India? At this stage, I would say, don't wear your category hat. Don't wear, this is about batting for India, and all of us here are batting for India. We hear about Atmanirbhar, we hear about vocal for local, but fundamentally it all comes down to it is India's time. And India really needs to make a significant impact on the global stage. Now, whether it's India solving for India or India solving for the world is just a route. What does it take and what should we do? And let's think of it holistically. What do we need to do as practitioners? What do we need to do as companies? What do we want from the government and the ecosystem to enable winning brands out of India, and really winning on the global stage? That's the single point agenda.
I'll start with a bit of a cautionary note. and say that in the fearless startup world, where there have been waves where capital has been abundantly available. I think we may have gone to a little bit of the other extreme. Is that I think before we think of what it takes to build global brands, I think the cautionary note is that there should be the right reason to go global. You cannot you cannot go global if you don't have a very strong base, a very strong business, a very strong unit economics. You cannot solve your problems in India by going global. That I think goes it's the fundamental truth. But I think we see that lots of companies in the new world, so to speak, forget that at points in time, and that those kinds of failures are not going to they're not going to do well for the ecosystem, and they're going to. So again, having the right reasons for going global, and the right reasons remain the same. You have a value proposition, you have some significant competitive advantage, which a country like India affords to a lot of businesses. IT services did that. Again, it's a B2B business, so we don't see those brands as prominent consumer brands, but they are up there with any of the leading global tech companies, because India had a very strong value proposition. We had a strong supply side advantage, and I think the same holds now. If you can build a robust business where you can use your local base, whether it's on the demand side. Education has that advantage again to some extent. Entertainment to some extent has that advantage. We have a lot of talent. We have a strong local consumer base that allows companies to scale and experience the diversity and the multitude as we heard. And that sort of gives the brands and the companies and the businesses the agility to actually go global. So again, start with, strong core business, strong brand, strong purpose-driven companies, and then I think the world will be our oyster. And India has the scale to be able to build them across segments, and hopefully we should see more of these as we go ahead.
When it comes to building brands, I'll again say, I think a time has come when we move into the real tenets, which is a lot of brands say that, they inspire you. I think rather than inspiring, brands needs to be inspired. Be inspiring themselves. And I think the whole build everything around customer experience, I think sounds very simple, but something very difficult to achieve. And solution is the new product. I think during pandemic, marketers need to shift from a product to a solution-based approach. We are seeing in many, many startups. And another thing is, in India, there is so much scope of building brands and companies or startups. But I think we need to move from differentiated from competitors to differentiated for consumers approach. And I will again come back to what I said in the beginning, keep the consumer at the center of the decision making. And one of the P's we grew up with, place. I think that P shifts to now platform. So being omni-channel and a multi-sided platform is the new normal to disrupt place. And it's more about brands reaching consumers now and not the vice versa.
That's super insightful. And I like that the P of place is becoming platform. Sometimes we joke that the next Silicon Valley may be in the cloud, because everything is getting so distributed, and the internet is really fundamentally, geography, as they say, is now history. Pratyusha, Deepika?
I was reflecting on, when I think of Z, and the first memory that, the association that we're getting is the bottom of the pyramid, right? But we don't tell the story enough of Z actually reaches 1.3 billion audience across the world. And it's across 173 countries. We are so happy with the business in our country because it is such large in scale, and we get the dividends in our own multi-Bharats that we don't end up doing that kind of brand building globally. And I don't think Indian brands tell their stories enough. I think the story is always a source of origin story and not a global brand story. So that I think is the first unlock when I think of as a marketer and saying, how does Indian marketer build a global brand? Tell the global brand story and not a source of origin diaspora marketing story. I think that's the first and fundamental difference. The second, I think, is in terms of, I think Lizzie and both Deepika talked about it, the product being significantly superior, or building systems and your service engines being at par with what's available globally. I think you cannot fight a fighter jet with a boat, you know, right? And I think somewhere we take a great pride in somehow in time, jugaad se bana diya versus building scalable systems. And I think that's something which I would focus obsessively, given that India's time is now and we have access to technology, we have funds. How do I build scalable system design for Indian organization? And I think the last thing is always the cultural thing, and I'll go back to that because we see that so much when we do work at Z, right? So I'll give you two examples, okay? There is a fundamental cultural value in Maharashtra called Ugich Kashala. Needlessly, why? अगर सब कुछ हो रहा है तो chill मारो, रहो अपने हद पे, versus the Punjabi attitude of Jazba kar Vakhanda. There's one day sapne, let's go out there and grab the moon. I think as people, it's India's time now, and we see that across the great Indian middle class. There's no longer a, it's my destiny, it's my fate, and I'm going to be like this, versus I want a destination. I want to rise and, get to a better tomorrow. And how does that spirit get into the business ecosystem? It's always been there. Okay? Businesses have been built at global scale from India, but I think that little attitude saying we're going to put our mark, and having that little bit of attitude is Indian business ecosystem is I see as the third big thing. So not diaspora, source of origin marketing, but as a global brand, scale system design, and finally that little attitude that needs to be brought to businesses.
In my previous role, before I joined Diageo, we were a 50-50 JV between Pepsi and Tata's. The Tata's are such a great example, right? $100 billion business. Built on, of course, acquisitions internationally, but the bulk of it is actually the whole software product and the service through TCS, which of course drives their revenues. So I think it's an example of a corporation. I don't know whether the Tata brand name per se is so well known globally as it is in India and as trusted as it is. But I think, interesting to listen to this. A couple of things come to my mind, and actually it's a little contrary to what Abhishek said. So my view is, I think provenance is the way to be. Of course, there are segments like education where maybe it doesn't really matter whether it comes from India. Though I dare say one of the reasons why Byju's could be working with the diaspora or even non-diaspora could be that India stands for education. It's like when you're an Indian and you're participating in a multinational conference, they just expect you to be the nerd. They just expect you to be the techie. If you're a guy, they just expect you to have the best numbers. So I think education to that extent also has an India provenance and a halo. But coming back, I think it's provenance, and the classic examples, and I know these are cliched, but if you look at yoga, if you look at Ayurveda, if you look at Bollywood and content, and examples of how people have taken that provenance and actually made brands out of them, right? I remember Ramesh Vangal, who actually brought Pepsi into India, has built an Ayurveda business, with Ayurveda holistic cure through Ayurveda, I think 130 clinics in the US, right? Or, we took Kurkure and, Pratisha, to your example, to the diaspora in Canada, of course, Pakistan and other countries where, they just wanted that chatpata taste, which we'd actually created for India. So I think, but the important thing I think that I'm trying to say is, I feel that, for an Indian brand to go global, of course, and I'm not talking about technology-based brands, but, I think building off strengths which are unique to India, and then, of course, delivering great quality, which I think is what people should learn to expect from India. And then, of course, work on IP, which is something that I think we don't do a great job of from a government point of view, could be some of the examples. The only other thing that I want to say from my current industry, which is Alco Bevs, is, as Diageo, we've of course got brands like McDowell's No. 1, which go to many more countries outside India through legacy. But I'm watching gin entrepreneurs in India, again, coming back to your point on startups, and, this is not us. We're like this behemoth here, but I'm watching these small gin entrepreneurs who are actually taking, and gin has a very strong India provenance story as well, right? And they're taking that whole planters, India gin story, and they're actually taking it to New York and to London, and we're watching. And it's interesting, if you see most gin brands in the UK today, and the UK is a big gin market, the India provenance story is told, even if the brand is as British as it comes. So I think the larger point I'm making is I think it's great to stick to, it's great if we can tell an India story, because, we've got so much to culturally to be proud of, but deliver it with great quality, take care of our IP, and of course, entrepreneurship that you've been talking about all the way through.
So my firmly held belief is that you have to build great products that truly benefit consumers, right? Either in solving a pain point or truly disrupting the way of doing things. And that's the starting point of any great brand, right? You know, Apple couldn't have built a brand without building tremendously great products. And I agree with what Deepika said. It's about consistency and doing that time and again, so that you don't even have to say it anymore, right? So a strong brand sort of, it eventually goes from being a company promise to a consumer expectation.
Great. It's fascinating to see that the more things change, the more they remain the same. That ultimately it's all about knowing who you are and sort of being consistent with it. And as the bard Shakespeare used to say, to thine own self be true, thou canst not then be false to any man. And if we use that in our lives and in building our businesses and our brands, I think that will take us far. And, I think everyone's talked about the long-term orientation to building enduring brands. And I think there's a lot of unanimity that it is India's time now. And hopefully we shall meet 5 years out and celebrate some big, global champions coming out of the region, and really work towards making that happen. So thank you. It's been a really exciting conversation, and hope to connect soon and continue this at some point. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks to everyone. Thanks.
काय पाहुणं कसं काय
माहिती आहे का बे तू अशी देन ना एक घेऊन
शाळा घेतो का माझी
मुस्कट फोडीन आता लटकलो ना भाऊ
अरे देवा पांडुरंगा
एकच नंबर जबरी
मंडळ आभारी आहे
আড্ডা মারা
ন্যাকা বড় নিন্দা বড় চর্চা
গন্ডগোল
ছাতার মাথা
চাপ নিস না ইয়ার কি পেয়েছো
বাঁশ বালিশ
ফাটাফাটি
দিনটি ভালো কাটুক
A big thank you to all our panelists. I'm sure the discussion opened a whole lot of minds. And for everyone who stepped away from their computers for a quick snack, we know who you are. Not to worry, we will be putting up a cheat sheet after the show. Now, when Mr. Amitabh Bachchan had said, "Lete haan ek chota sa break, lekin aap kahin mat jayega," did you walk away from the TV or did you hang around to catch your favorite ad? It was Mr. Bachchan saying, "Don't move." Here are our nominees for the category Television Campaign of the Year. Take a look.
In the category Television Campaign, the nominees are Cadbury Nutty 5-Star for Ganesh and Counting, Bisleri for Samajhdar Jante Hain, Godrej Security Solutions for Bilkul Safe Hai, Hotstar for Koi Yaar Nahi Faar, and Vodafone for #LiveMore. Joining us to announce the winner, please welcome Prasoon Joshi, Chairman, McCann World Group Asia Pacific.
I've always believed an award show is as good as its jury. And our jury in these awards was fantastic. I must say it was great to interact with each other, and especially in the times when there is limited mobility, and we are all confined to our screens. But I must also thank the organizers, the entire team of Brand Equity, who made sure that we compensate for physical absence and virtually sort of create an atmosphere of discussion and exchange of ideas, and So we gave enough, time and deliberation to all the entries, all the winners. There were some difficult choices to make, but I'm happy that we had such a great jury which could discuss things together, and especially led by Suresh, where we could come to a consensus and award the best work. So congratulations to Brand Equity for being able to manage this in these difficult times. These are a much needed awards which Brand Equity is presenting. So thanks once again to every jury member. It was a great experience. The award for the best television ad campaign, Hotstar for Koi Yaar Nahi Far.
Thank you for this appreciation and recognition. When we were building this campaign, we were clear about three things. Firstly, we wanted the campaign to be rooted in pop culture, and superheroes as a theme resonated across India. But we took it deep and wide by giving these superheroes superpowers that were very India applicable in a sense. Secondly, digital as a medium has been known to take people apart, but we wanted to showcase the power of digital in bringing people together. And lastly, we knew that for this idea to gain its full potential, to gain its full scale, we needed to do something with cinematic quality. And so the television campaign that we put together is of cinematic quality that's rarely seen in ads before. On behalf of Hotstar and DDB Mudra, thank you again.
Congratulations, Team Hotstar, for bringing India together. Let's move now to our next category. Now, mobile phones have evolved from being an extension of your hand to an extension of our soul. Our phones know everything, from the music we pretend to like to the music we actually like, to our bank balance and our dating status. And this has promoted some of the most creative and innovative work by marketing professionals in the last few years. Our next category is Mobile Marketing Campaign of the Year. Let's take a look at the nominees.
In the category Mobile Marketing Campaign, the nominees are Cadbury Dairy Milk for drowning hate with hearts. Godrej Hit for how Hit saved 25 lives. Godrej Hit for voice-activated intelligent and conversational ads. Oppo for billion beats. Reliance Fresh for healthy recipe bot. And Spotify for Packet Mein Playlist. And to announce the winner, please welcome back Prasoon Joshi.
And the Brand Equity Marketing Award for the best mobile marketing campaign this year goes to Cadbury's Dairy Milk for drowning hate with hearts.
Number 2, Purple Heart. Thank you very much for the award. Super excited to receive this again on behalf of the entire team that's worked on this idea. Definitely believe that this is an idea that is worth investing, and this recognition just reinforces the belief of the teams to continue to work behind this. Definitely believe that cyberbullying is something that we all need attention for, and I'm very happy with the Purple Heart activation and super glad for this recognition. Thank you.
Congratulations, Team Cadbury. A campaign so nice, they won twice already. And now let's move on to our next category. In life, there is nothing quite like wanting ethically produced vegan tree nut cheese and flavor it with some orange and then discover there is indeed a brand somewhere out there who makes it for you. Their cows are happier, they work out every day, and the cow's relationship status is also joyful. Because every day there are newer brands popping up who are answering some very specific prayers, creating diverse and exciting products that don't just fulfill a need, but also tell a story. But every story starts somewhere, and that's where our nominees truly shine. Here are the nominees in the category of Brand Launch of the Year. Take a look.
In the category Brand Launch, the nominees are Dettol, for co-created with moms. Durex, for hashtag come together. Lux, for the soap with a lump. MG Hector, for it's a human thing. Philips, for iron out the creases. And Spotify, for there's a playlist for that. And to announce the winner, please welcome back Ram Raghavan.
And the winner for the Brand Equity Marketing Award for Best Campaign Launch of the Year goes to Spotify for There's a Playlist for That campaign. A wonderful initiative that came from a simple yet powerful insight. I certainly hope the team has a playlist for that. Congratulations and well done.
Really honored to get this recognition today. The marketing team at Spotify is extremely happy to get this kind of love and support from the jury and all the industry folks. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Team Spotify. I bet you've got the perfect playlist to celebrate this win. And now next, we bring you some exciting news around a new launch. Instagram today is a community of more than 1 billion people. It has allowed people to get closer than ever before to all the people and things they love. Not just friends and family, but also interests, public figures, creators, and businesses. By constantly putting out engaging content, creators build authentic connections with their followers. And it is this strong connection that moves business outcomes on Instagram. To launch a very special program here at the Brand Equity Marketing Awards, please now welcome Sandeep Bhushan, Director and Head of GMS Facebook India. Over to you, Sandeep.
Thanks, Cyrus, and good evening, everyone. We love the vibrant, passionate platform that Instagram is. 1 billion of us now globally are part of this community of Instagrammers. And as Instagram has grown, we've seen a cultural shift, a shift in the way we express ourselves. And interestingly, also how we express ourselves. Because the tools that Instagram today offers, all the way from stories to live and now to reels, allows us to express every aspect of our lives and our personalities in creative and engaging ways. And beyond expression, Instagram is the space where we all go back to be close to the people and things we love. Passions and interests are the center of Instagram. And those who lead thought and action here, whether it's public figures, creators, businesses, are therefore able to form communities because it is those shared interests around passions that create those communities. The opportunity, therefore, for business and creators is to be able to express their authentic voice and to find and establish an audience that can range from just a few to over millions, as we now know. Also, Instagrammers, those who come to Instagram, look out and want to connect with influencers and creators. Over 2/3 will tell us that they're keen to connect with creators. And 90% follow a brand, and most take brand action. So the interest in creators, the willingness to engage with brands, the passion, which is really the starting point of the engagement, all come together to create a very warm space for brands, therefore, to be able to drive partnerships between influencers and people to drive business objectives. Creators, of course, on Instagram build authentic connections with followers, and the followers look to them for inspirations. And creators are not just driving salience, but actually driving expertise in their area of their chosen vocation. And therefore, expertise goes hand in hand with salience and buzz, creating a fantastic mix of persuasiveness, which is what brands are seeking in their storytelling. Also, brands showcase their value in a very personal way when they go through this partnership of creators, especially relevant in the area of in this era of social distancing, where we cannot walk out and have conversations with everyone we want to, and influencers, therefore, and creators allow for that dialogue between us and our favorite categories and brands. Of course, all of this needs to be done in a way that delivers real business value, that's measured, and is done responsibly in terms of how we communicate. Bringing this all together, therefore, I'm very excited to announce today the program Love Runs Deep, a program for the marketing industry to showcase how wonderfully creators and brands can come together to drive business objectives. We invite all brands to be part of this fantastic agenda. And what we promise you is an expert team of creators that will work with you and your teams to change the way brands tell their story. Passion, authenticity at the center, and brand objective is the outcome. So join us on Instagram's Love Runs Deep.
See myself, you're my other side. Can you feel it now? Can you feel it beat? This love runs deep. Everything I do for you. You're my other side. Can you feel it now? Can you feel it beat? This love runs deep.
Today, I have the pleasure of calling one of the partners and creator experts for this program. With Savvy and Vid, you know them from their handle Bruised Passports on Instagram, and we could think of no one else to kick this whole conversation off. So really excited to have them as we kick off the Love Runs Deep program and the Love Runs Deep challenge. Let me bring them in with a question as they will describe their journey on Instagram and how it's all coming together between influencers, businesses, and the communities that we're all part of. Hey, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Sandeep.
Super. Hey, you are entrepreneurs who've traveled to almost 100 countries. You're an active voice on Instagram with a community of almost 500,000, all united by passion for travel. So tell us about your journey and the role Instagram has played there.
In fact, in some ways, I don't even know where to begin. The two of us have known each other for a long time, but back when we were in college, we would, put together our pocket money and travel the world. And then we started earning. So we would just spend everything we earned on traveling the world. And somewhere about a few years ago, we decided that we should put this online. We should share the knowledge that we've gleaned from years of traveling online. And that's how our Instagram page was born. But I think the one thing that I'm forever thankful to Instagram for is the ability to transform what was our passion into our profession. Because I don't think that we could ever have established a location-independent business model if it were not for Instagram or Facebook. So
yeah, and to add to that, I think what Instagram has also provided us is with a community where we can inspire people, because when we started, it was not so popular or common to maybe quit your job and travel the world and make it a profession. So by this medium, we had hoped that more and more people will become comfortable and get inspired by our journey, and we have seen a good result of that. So yeah, we are forever thankful to Instagram for that.
Tell me about community, and that's a very interesting point to bring up. Was community somewhere at the back of your mind, or is just that the passion created its own sort of followers because there's just so many people who care for these things, and people like you then become lightning rods around which conversations start to congregate and communities start to build? Just give me that journey. When did you figure that, hey, listen, this is getting to be very interesting from a community point of view?
I think it was actually before we even started the blog, because when we would travel and we would post our stories on our personal Facebook pages, for instance, everybody would start sending us questions. oh, you went here, oh, you went there. And then we decided and we thought to ourselves, maybe we should put this out online on a public platform so that more and more people can read our itineraries and, just get that comfort that, okay, these people are doing it, so can we.
Actually, the idea of community is also so intrinsic beyond any niche that you might have. It's community that's at the center, because one of the main ideas when we started this Instagram page was that all of us have grown up around a certain template, the mainstream template of living life. Because growing up, we were told you need to earn your degrees, and then you need to work, then you need to save for a house. So it's a very teleological sort of development. And there's nothing wrong with that, but there were no alternate points of view at all. So our idea with this was to present an alternative view of living life and showcasing that life that we're living, in the hope that there will be people out there who resonate with this point of view, perhaps more than the one that we've been fed all along. And to our surprise, there were more people than we thought there would be.
That's fantastic. And I think being online, being able to express yourself, of course, there are lots of platforms, lots of opportunities where you're visible, you publish, you blog, you do professional write-ups and photography as well. But there's something about the Instagram community that we know has a sense of warmth and kinship of a different kind. Have you felt that? Can you share with us a couple examples of how that stands out for you?
My favorite examples, at least from the work that we've done, is that we worked for the hotel brand in the Seychelles a couple of years ago. And then so many of our readers went to the same hotel and they asked for the same room at the hotel. And then they recreated our photographs from that hotel room and they would send them to us. I think in 1 year, we had almost 40 to 50 photographs from the same room. And it came to a point where the hotel wrote to us and they said, could you please remove the room number from your article or your Instagram post, because everybody's asking for the same room, even though all the views are the same, So it's moments like these that make you feel, of course, that you're doing a good job, but also warm and fuzzy from the inside, like you said. So it's more than just work. It's just something that makes you feel comforted that you have this community.
And to add to that, Sandeep, there was another incident where last year we created this fundraiser for a computer lab to be built in Rajasthan for little kids. And we shared it on Instagram, and the support that came in through our community was amazing. And we eventually had a beautiful lab built in Rajasthan for these little kids. And all thanks to this, support from our active community on Instagram.
And when we visited the lab, finally, the kids had made these cards saying, "Thank you, Instagram," and "Thank you, Bruce Passports," which was just endearing and heartwarming to another level altogether.
Yeah, wonderful story. Let's go further, therefore, from passions that you started out with and communities that came along. And now, of course, all the way to impacting social cause with the help of a community. I think it's a wonderful journey. I want to now talk brands. Tell us about how you think of brand and brand partnerships. When a proposal comes to you, how do you think about it from a partnership perspective? And then we'll build further from there.
The hallmark for us is always authenticity and organic integration. But the other thing that we really enjoy is when it's a collaborative effort. Because a lot of times what happens is that influencers come in at the very last second, but we really enjoy when we are involved in the ideation and the execution stages as well, because that just leads to a better product. But in general, I feel like the one thing that we really think of when a brand approaches us is a sort of three-pronged approach, which is how our readers will benefit, how they will get value from this, how the brand will get immense ROI so that they are really pleased with the outcome of the campaign. And then, of course, how we can use our expertise to make those two things happen. So all three parties should benefit immensely is always our kind of point of view.
One of the interesting pieces that's beginning to emerge is the role of creators, not just as endorsers or celebrities or buzz creators, but actually truly creative folks who can create interesting content for the brand. And that actually is a facet that's not very well understood, especially in the ad agency and the marketing ecosystem. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
I feel like this is so true. Like I said, that there used to be very few places where influencers would be involved at the beginning instead of the end, because by the time it comes to the end, there is no creative freedom. But I think more and more brands are now using influencers like you said, as collaborators, and they're coming in at an earlier stage where they're still ideating what needs to be put out. And I think that's very important, because influencers are not just, like you said, protagonists, because readers get to see, or followers get to see a 360-degree kind of view of your life. For example, if we are using a phone in an ad for the phone itself, they also see us using it when we're shooting regular things, in a behind the scenes sort of video on Instagram stories, or they see us carrying the phone to a different location when we are traveling. So it's not just about that ad piece. It's about a lot more, which lends authenticity again to the campaign itself.
And I think increasingly brands, as you said, are becoming aware of this. Instead of just coming to influencers and saying that, okay, we need to do this, just do this. They are, and they should listen more and more to the influencers as well, because let's say in our case, it's been 7 years since we started blogging and, documenting on social media. So we have seen our audience grow, and we know we have a good idea of what our audience likes, what our audience doesn't like, what we like. So, at the heart of all this, it has to feel organic.
So love really runs deep on Instagram, and those fascinating examples of the community and all the work that's happening on the brands more than illustrates it. So as we build the program, question to you, what brings you here?
No, I mean, it comes as no surprise that Instagram is our favorite platform. We post so much there. We've built such an amazing community there, and there was no question whether we wanted to be a part of this program or not, because it actually resonates 100% with us. The fact that brands and creators need to work together. And I love the fact that the punchline is, give us your brief in 3 words and we'll turn that into magic.
Because there's a running joke with a lot of people we work with that the two of us are gluttons for punishment, because we love creating content and we'll go above and beyond, literally. We work with Samsung mobiles, for instance, on a regular basis. So last year, we went to 7 different countries to film one video, and it was our idea. It wasn't theirs. So the love well and truly runs deep when it comes to creating content and sharing high quality, good organic content with our readers in this case.
Yeah, on Instagram.
Yes, absolutely. I think authentic expression is central, and therefore bringing in the creator much earlier in the journey can be key to making the brand communication really look organic and authentic to the platform. Really appreciate the time. And certainly you folks inspire a lot of us in the community who want to travel, but also we hope lots of brands who can do so much more work using all the talent and the effort you folks bring. Thank you so much.
Hey, I'm back, and thank you so much, Sandeep. We really look forward to seeing how brands leverage the Love Runs Deep program over the next few weeks. Now moving on to our final set of awards. Are you all ready? Stay ready. Before there was the internet, there would always be someone who would come with some information, and the argument was always settled with the words, "Arey, paper mein likha hai. Main keh raha hu, paper mein likha hai." And all arguments were sorted. Our next category is for a form of advertising that's been going strong since 1468 and to this day remains innovative and eye-catching. Let's take a look at the nominees for Print Campaign of the Year.
In the category Print Campaign, the nominees are Cadbury for Unity Bar, Child Rights and You for Working Child, Healthcare at Home for helping people sign up for a dignified death, Saffola Life for Heart Ka Exam, and Voltas for Adjustable Inverter Air Conditioner. Joining us to announce the winner, please welcome Shanti Ekambaram, Group President, Consumer Banking, Kotak Mahindra Bank.
You know, it was simply an amazing experience being a part of the jury. Few things. One, there were eminent people, each one of them, stalwarts in their own right. And the number of entries we had, it was such a pleasure to debate, discuss, differ, and yet come closer to a decision that was almost like a consensus. So I thoroughly enjoyed the experience. It was also a great learning, and the collective intellectual, power that was there in the room was simply amazing. And of course, it was all digital. The award for the best print ad campaign goes to Saffola Life for Heart Ka Exam.
Hi everybody, we're delighted to win the award for the best use of print for the Saffola Life Heart Ka Exam campaign. I want to thank the jury and the entire brand equity team for giving us this award, and a very big thumbs up to the Mullen team who helped us conceptualize and execute this entire campaign for us. Thank you everybody.
Congratulations Team Saffola Life, a truly well-deserved award there. And now for the last category of the evening. Do you guys remember that line from the movie Om Shanti Om? अगर किसी चीज को दिल से चाहो तो पूरी कायनात उसे तुमसे मिलाने की कोशिश में लग जाती है. Most people thought SRK was talking about the power of love and the universe. No. We knew he was talking about the power of integrated marketing campaigns. So now let's take a look at the nominees.
In the category Integrated Marketing Campaign, the nominees are Area for Sun's hashtag Share the Load, Discovery Communications for Man vs. Wild with Bear Grylls and PM Modi, Harpic for Overcoming India's Toilet Divide, Lays for Smile Deke Dekho, and MG Hector for It's a Human Thing. And to announce the winner, please welcome back Ahmed El Sheikh.
The award of the best integrating marketing campaign for the year goes to Discovery Communications for Man vs. Wild with Bear Grylls and Prime Minister Modi. Congratulations.
Good evening everyone. At the outset, I want to congratulate all the winners tonight. It's truly an honor to share space with them. I would like to thank Brand Equity and the jury members who've recognized this campaign. I want to dedicate this award to the entire marketing team at Discovery. Without their efforts and contribution, this would not have been possible. So thank you again, and congratulations to all the winners.
Congratulations Team Discovery, what a wonderful win for you all, and a hearty congratulations to all our winners this evening. Once again, please remember to use hashtag BEMA on all your social media posts. I'd like to now request Partha Sinha, President Response Benetton Coleman Company Limited, to deliver the closing address.
They say the best way to beat the blue would be to celebrate. And what could be a better way to celebrate than to celebrate creativity and effectiveness in the marketing and advertising fraternity? I want to thank all of you who participated today evening, everybody who listened to the entire show, and all the people who got nominated, and of course, the people who have won. A big congratulations to the people who have won. You keep our faith alive in the power of branding and marketing. I think winning in a brand equity award is a very big feat. And I know the kind of nominations we had. I know the quality of thinking that was shortlisted. And I know how difficult it was for the jury to pick up the winners. So I want to thank the jury for their time. And I also want to congratulate the winners once again. This is the best way to tell the world, yes, marketing and advertising will always be alive and kicking. And nothing, including COVID, can actually put our spirits down. I want to thank our sponsors, Z Entertainment and Instagram. Thank you very much for supporting us in this endeavor. And I'm sure the winners are going to have a bit of a virtual party. So please go ahead and do that. And anybody who wants to kind of indulge in a bit of a virtual party, a big word of encouragement from me, please go ahead and do so. Hopefully next year we will meet you in person. Till then, goodbye.
Thank you so much, Partha. And with that, we've come to the end of today's show. A big thank you to our sponsors, Z Entertainment and Instagram, to our brilliant nominees and winners, and to each and every one of you for joining us. It's been a great evening. Take care, good night, drive safe. Well, not drive safe. That doesn't happen anymore. Okay. All right. Good night. Thank you.
love.